What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great night. It has been one hell of a long day. Drop that video about Albert O, the tight end we traded for. Hopefully you were able to check that out. And then I just kind of had to go live. Was trying to put this all together, keep up with everything that was happening throughout the day, keep you guys up to date by dropping posts on every social media platform. Pure chaos. So I appreciate all of you that have been tuning in throughout the day, with all the posts and, all the comments and messages I've been getting. Truly appreciate all of you. I think I got back to everybody. If I miss you, I'm sorry. I'll go back through. It has been a wild day, and we knew this was coming. It's sicko season, baby, and it's coming to a head here. So we've gotten through the preseason, the training camps, the OTAs, all that stuff, man. And we talked about it, even before the draft, free agency, what this team was building. And oh boy, I see it right in front of me. And well, we've got that here tonight. We've got the 53-man roster. Now, keep in mind, this is the initial 53-man roster. So it's going to change. You're going to have moves made within the next couple of days. Tomorrow at noon, the waivers have to be in. And then at 4 o'clock, you find out who's going to the practice squads, all that stuff. So we'll be talking about the practice squad tomorrow. Tonight, we're going to talk about some of those things, but we'll talk about who it is, all that stuff. But a lot will be going on here. So don't think, it's over. Remember last year, August 30th, which is tomorrow of this year, we traded for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So Howie's always wheeling and dealing. If he wants to get somebody, he will do that. So let's just keep that in mind before we get into everything. But this is the initial one. This is what we're seeing in front of us. So we're going to talk about the cuts that were made today. We'll talk about some other notable cuts around the NFL. We'll look at the roster by position, how many we've got there, the position count, and then, of course, the projected depth chart here. So you're going to see this Super Bowl winning championship roster here. Oh, I'm very excited, ladies and gentlemen, and just seeing it all play out, how these guys, really fought for jobs, and there's excitement in the air. But let me get over to this chat, and then we'll jump right into this stuff. My man GP, let's effing go, Birds. You know it. Appreciate you tuning in, my dude. Loving the comments today. Glad you got to see that live reaction. I had to make a clip of it. It was my first time doing live draft with you guys, but glad you enjoyed that. It was very exciting. Go Birds. Appreciate you tuning in. Let's effing go. Appreciate you as well. You know it. You guys are awesome. You've been tuning in throughout. Murrow, I'm guessing you're talking about Morrow. Yeah, we talked about him. I had him off of my 53, but he's a vested vet. Maybe you bring him back after certain things go down, whatever. Man, who knows? But regardless, there's a lot of other people out there. We're going to talk about all that. It's getting so close. I can almost taste it. 12 days away. Ready to run through an effing wall. Let's go. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're having a great day. Able to keep up with all the chaos. My dude. Let's go. You guys, I truly can't thank you enough for tuning in here tonight. We're going to break this whole damn thing down. Let's effing go. John, my man, twisted in here. We've got ourselves a party brewing. Let's go. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, but in case you missed all the chaos throughout the day, if you're watching this later, you can chime in as well too. Follow along and let us know how you feel. But we're going to start it off with the cuts that were made on defense today. Garner. Well, we talked about Garner, Ricks, Goodrich. You know that it was Goodrich had to pretty much lead the way because of Zach McPherson's injury there. But Ricks, Garner, we made the case, for keeping 7. Could they keep 8? They went with 7. Garner, hopeful for the practice squad. Someone could claim him. We shall see. Kayvon Wallace, talked about it. I didn't have him in my first, initial, nor the last one for the 53. So I don't know, man. I like Kayvon, but I just haven't seen it from him. So Justin Evans, I thought, brought more to the table. Emergency return man, too. So look, best of luck. If he's not on the practice squad, I think some other team will probably scoop him up. He's got some talent. He played well at the end of last year, so we'll see what happens there. Janarius Robinson, I just never have thought he is good. So best of luck to him. If he ends up on the practice squad, hopefully continue to develop. Nicholas Morrow, talked about it, vested vet, but you brought Cunningham in and Miles Jack for a reason. Looked like Cunningham was beating him out. Looks like Cunningham might be the starter next to Nakobe Dean. So look, he may be back on the practice squad. He may do whatever the hell he wants, go to another team. But look, this is something we just talked about the other day with my final 53. So that's the reason those guys were brought in. And, rolling with 3, that's what I had on my prediction. We've got guys like Nolan Smith that can play, some off-ball linebacker. And you've got these safeties, these hybrids, that Terrell Edmonds, you've got Sidney Brown. I think those guys, can help you with certain packages where it's not as dire as people make it seem. And we'll have guys on the practice squad. Kyron Johnson's one of those guys, I think, very hopeful he's on the practice squad. And we talked about how stacked this edge rusher room was. You heard me. I put him on my 53, and I said, this is probably me being a homer. I just like the dude. He's probably going to be the odd man out. Patrick Johnson really brings a lot to the table as well, special teams-wise. But Kyron, he's got that skill set where he can play off-ball linebacker, edge rusher. This dude, I really like him, and I'm hopeful that he goes to the practice squad, but another team could scoop him up. And Teron Jackson, I've liked him the last couple of years, and he did well this year. He really did in the preseason. I thought he showed enough where another team, could definitely reach out and try to claim him. But look, you never know. These guys could definitely go unclaimed, and if they do, I think, most of them will end up on this practice squad. Maybe not Robinson, but, he could be there just because he's an edge rusher. But we'll see. And then on the offensive side of the ball, you remember the first couple of days, it was a lot of offense. So now just a few here. No surprises in Allen and Covey there. We talked about this. I didn't think Covey, you remember this whole offseason I had us keeping 4. And then the last day I said maybe you keep 5 only if you're putting Covey on that IR. And that way, thus only keeping 4. That to me, I just feel it's a better game plan. And, Covey, he's a good punt returner, and he did, a lot better, at the – well, not even just the second half. He did pretty good after like week 6, 7. He started doing really well. He was one of the better punters in the league. So I think that's great and fine and dandy, but I've talked about this a million times. I don't want to just keep a roster spot because he's good at punt returning. I want somebody that can really, do some punt returning, kick returning, help you out of position, and he really doesn't do that. Devin Allen, he's a preseason hero, but nobody thought he was making the active roster. He can kick return that one time, but he dropped it, so that's not great. And it's obviously in the preseason against guys that aren't even on squads. But, look, Josh Sills, that's somebody we talked about with his time off. Was that going to hurt him? And it seems it definitely did, because this was a guy that Jeff Stoutland loved last year, and he ends up losing to Sua Opeta as that interior guy. So it's crazy to me. The versatility of Sills, I think, was left out the way because of, Tyler Steen. He could play tackle. He could play guard. So he's going to have that spot that Sills would have. Driscoll's the swing tackle that can play tackle and guard. So you've got those type of pieces. So you've got yourself a guard into Opeta, and I think Sills, they'll be hopeful that he makes the practice squad, but I think offensive linemen like him, with his skill set, versatility, I definitely could see another team trying to pick him up. Now, the one thing we talked about that I told you I wanted to do on my 53, and now I wish I would have, but I was like, would we really cut the punter? And, well, we did. Now, you talk about, he holds for Jake Elliott. That's the one thing I understand. So whoever you bring in is going to have to try to figure it out, within 12 days, 11 days tomorrow. You know what I mean? Clock's ticking here. So we'll see. But regardless, anything's got to be better than Sipos at this point because, oh, my God, was he atrocious. So best of luck to him. Maybe you keep him on the practice squad in case, the other guy doesn't pan out. But we got to improve there. Now, obviously, the other thing, if you missed that video, go check it out. Give you the bio stats, the breakdown of who this dude is. I'm excited about getting this guy. And this was actually somebody I was going to talk about today. So no doubt. Look, he adds exactly what we wanted in Dan Arnold, but he actually helps, I think, in the blocking department. He needs to improve. He did a little bit this year. He needs to continue doing that. But, man, he could push Calcaterra out for sure onto the practice squad. So, hey, we'll see. Maybe they keep all 4. But I like the addition of Alberto there. And we ended up, getting a 7th-round pick as well and giving the Broncos a 6th-round pick. They were going to waive him. So, and it's not even for next year. It's 2025. So we were just ensuring he didn't hit the waiver wire because we knew somebody else would be going after him. So those were the things that went down today. Again, I did my best to keep you guys up with this, and I was hopeful that I was going to be able to be here in time to make a show earlier, I had all these grand plans to do all these things. Oh, we're gonna talk about this, and it was just like, wow, but I wanted this and all these things. I was like, I have to create all of these things. Like, I can't just be like, all right, I want to put that on there. And then look, I could just sit here and talk shit all day, but I know you guys like your graphics. I know you like to see things. So that's what I try to do for you. So I put together a plethora of things here. Let's take a gander here at some of the cuts that were made around the NFL that the Eagles could be interested in. And, you know, these are just names I threw out here. If you see the asterisk next to them, that just means that they have to go through the waiver period. So tomorrow at 12, you know, you would have to try to claim them. Now, obviously, Albert O is not going to be claimed, and he is not a cut because, well, we traded for him. But I was not going back. I already had this part done. And there probably was guys that were cut after this. So if I'm missing anyone that you liked, feel free to throw them in there. But I was going to talk about the fact that, you know, some of these tight ends here that are better blocking guys, but a guy like Albert O was improving his blocking, and he could catch, I think, would have the upper hand. Same with Asiasi there, or Asai, however you say it, Eric Tomlinson. So there were definitely some options there. There's some wide receivers, running backs, guys with return capability, and we'll talk about returners here in a second. But you see some offensive guys that were let go that you could be looking to add to your practice squad if they, you know, hey, you could call someone up and they could definitely not go back to their other team if they want to try to win a Super Bowl, feel that they could maybe get to the active roster. And on the defensive side of the ball, there were definitely some guys that were let go that could be intriguing, some linebackers, some young linebackers like Jabril Cox from the Cowboys, which was a surprising cut. You see some veteran guys like Deion Jones who dealt with injuries. Kirksey, we talked about him yesterday. Littleton was let go today. So some good options there. And Desmond King, you know, I've been talking about, and we don't need a corner. Obviously, Goodrich is the plan there inside, but I still wouldn't mind him just because of the fact that, you know, he can return kicks and punts. So that's two different beasts, and he can do both. Not against it still, but you see some guys out there that, hey, maybe you want to try to add him to the practice squad. Not against it. You want to try to claim one of these guys. Sure, why not? But here you can see I have some return specialists. So those were some of the guys you already saw on those pages, but I wanted to point out the guys that can return the ball. And, you know, I think that is a reason you definitely could add someone. But we'll talk about the Eagles here shortly, what we do have here. I still like a couple pieces that I've talked about for, well, at least a couple months now. So we'll talk about that. But, hey, if you want to continue improving, I'm okay with that. And some of the punters I saw there that were let go today, there were a couple of young guys you could claim in Chrisman and Waitman, or you could go after a veteran like Hack or O'Donnell. So definitely some options out there, ladies and gentlemen. There are a plethora of moves that were made today. And again, I put those together a few hours ago, and I really had plans to try to do this earlier, and it just all got messed up. So everything fell apart, but we're here. We're going to talk about it. Again, if you saw any other pieces that are out there that you're interested in, let me know. I'd love to hear it. But we're going to break this team down now, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're excited. We're going to go through each position, talk about it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. So to see Wallace get the short end once we grew. Well, you know, he was decent, but you know, he got beat out. That's just the name of the game, you know. So if you're not good enough, you're not going to make the team. Yo, my man, I hope you're doing well. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for taking the time here, man. It's been a long, long, long day, but we're all here. We're ready to talk some birds. MVP in here. Let's go. They definitely look similar. One's a lot taller, though. Devin Allen is definitely taller than him if you saw them standing next to each other. But, yeah, I guess they definitely small little white guys out there that could definitely get you twisted. I'm all in on that, Jesse. I love that trade. Cost you, jack shit there. I'm all about it, man. And, yeah, nothing real surprising. We're going to go through it all here. 4 tight ends, 4 receivers. And we already run a lot of, 12, 13 personnel where you're seeing multiple tight ends. So that's why you're always going to see an emphasis. That's why we brought in Dan Arnold, but Tyree Jackson and Brady Russell, as well as Arnold, as I just mentioned, we're not able to, beat out Calcaterra Stoll. We thought we could use a little upgrade there. When you see a guy like Albert O get let go, that changes your mind, on things like, oh, okay, I could upgrade there. I would definitely take him. He was somewhere, you know what I mean? So that's just somebody I literally had on my list. I was like, perfect. As soon as I saw him, I'm like, I even went and tried to learn his damn name. And I was like, how weird is that? I was already trying. Okuwabiakon, I believe it is. So And I was like, well, good thing. Yeah, the Eagles, you know how he's a madman. He's smart. If we're thinking it's a good move and it is a good move, then he's probably going to make it if it's worth it. But I really appreciate that, China. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed those. I did my best to keep up with every damn move. And then right at the end, they, just drop everything on us. I had to dig for the last ones. I'm like, you son of a, but I wasn't going to leave anybody out. You were going to know every single person, every single move that was made. I wanted to keep you up to date as always. And oh my God, the chaos of sicko season is about to end, ladies and gentlemen, because sicko season ends in about 4 days here, because I'm going to get into the flow of the regular season, because we always have the pre-week stuff. Like, that whole week, man, we're going to be breaking down the Patriots and the Eagles, the matchups, everything. And now there's going to be a lot of new pieces. So if you remember last year, we did it a little differently at the beginning. Like the first 3 weeks, I talked about, the additions they made, like what's different. And then after that, we kind of continued talking about what they added, like what was different. But now we talked about what they've done so far this season, where their rankings are. I think we actually started that in week 2. But regardless, just adding all that stuff together, trying to give you as much information as you can possibly desire. But we do this every damn week, every day, every season, because the fact of the matter is I lose my mind without my bird. So we got to talk about, every single thing each day is a different thing. You've got your injury reports I'll put out. There'll be videos, not live videos, but you'll know injuries from both teams. You'll be up to date with every single thing you've ever needed to know. So, yeah, dude, it was weird. It really was that I was working on it, because I put them in there and I'm like, how do you say that? Because at first I was trying to spell it out in my head. So I'm sounding out how to remember how to spell it. And then it's said completely different, not completely different, but it's not how it looks. So it's just, I was like, this is lame. And then we literally traded for him. And I'm like, okay, now I actually have to figure out how to say this dude's name, because I hate not being able to say players' names. So, Okuwabiakon, right? I'm not looking at his name, so I don't know if I said that. Okuwabiakon, I believe it is. I could be butchering it, but dude, let's get into this without further ado. We're going to go by position here through the roster, and there is a plethora of just magical pieces here. This is something that gets me excited. Now, we talked about, this Eagles, obviously, quarterback room. I don't know why I went down there. They obviously loved Tanner McKee there. The fans were going nuts. The team, obviously, put him in situations to see what he was able to bring to the table. Didn't even let Ian Book play in that game. So they keep him for the 3rd spot. And look, if he continues to develop and progress, hey, he could be the backup. And look, we're just hoping we don't need any kind of quarterback. So he can just sit back in that room, be good to go. And hopefully we can trade you down the road or something, or you can just be the backup for a while. But Jalen Hurts, he's going to play most of this season. You're going to have him, last couple of games they're probably not playing because we'll clinch the NFC. So Mariota can go in, or Tanner McKee, and we'll figure it out from there. But keeping 3. So, yeah, love it. Now, 4 running backs. I mean, we talked about this all offseason. This is, to me, going to be a top 3 running back corp in this damn league. Now, not just, one of them. It's a combination of all of them. And that's running the ball, catching the ball. I think they're going to just attack you all over. It's going to add something really special, having Swift and Penny here, Swift to the passing attack, Penny ground and pound. And look, I think Gainwell can do it all. So I love it. Boston Scott, little jack of all trades there, helps you in the special teams department. And these other guys can too, but not really so much Swift. But look, we'll talk about that here shortly. Now at wide receiver, another thing we talked about, let's just roll with these 4 here. This makes me feel pretty comfortable. I love this, dude. Oh, this is going to be one of the best in the league. And, obviously you're going to have guys on your practice squad. So if anything were to happen, you elevate them. If there were anybody good enough out there, you would have added them, or you're going to add them this upcoming week. So you could see an addition, just like last year, if you remember, we had 4 wide receivers, and then I think it was week 4 or something, we got 5. So now it's Covey. But he was getting elevated the first 3 weeks. So you can elevate guys. So if they want to elevate a 5th wide receiver on game days until they figure out what they're going to do, if they want to add someone, they can do that. But if these guys are healthy, I feel pretty comfortable with, all of these guys, interchangeable receivers that can do a lot, and it's going to be phenomenal. And we've talked about it, 1A, 1B, and 3A, 3B, because, I think they're all going to get there. So I'm pumped about it, man, and I love it. And, we just mentioned the 4 tight ends there. Albert O, I think a great addition because Stoll and Calcaterra, sorry, these aren't all the same size, everything. I threw this together as fast as I possibly could. But, Goddard, Stoll, Calcaterra, Alberto, I think that makes me feel much better than. And look, we talked about this. Those 3, it's not that I'm down on them. I like Stoll as the blocking guy. I like Calcaterra as the receiving guy. But if anything were to happen, that scares the living hell out of me. So, I mean, to me, this just makes you feel a lot better. And if they move some things around, it wouldn't surprise me. But either way, I like the move there that they made for Alberto. Oku Webianam, right? Okay. Oku Webianam. Jeez. Now, 9 offensive linemen, and the one surprise for me was Sua Opeta over Josh Sills. Other than that, these were the guys we talked about. And, with Juergens at right guard, I think, Steen can back him up. He can play tackle, so he backs up there. Juergens backs up Kelsey if he needs. You've got Driscoll, who can back up tackle and guard. Fred Johnson, who can be your backup left tackle. Opeta can, be the backup guards there. So you've got pieces everywhere. You've got backups. I think this is definitely a damn good line. We talked about keeping 9, and that's what we roll with. So, hey, I think for me, this Eagles offense going to be, again, one of the best in the league, and they're just going to put up a lot of points. And what's funny to me is, people talk about, like, the yards or, what this, that, the other thing that happened last year. And it's like, I don't think they realize how much we were beating the hell out of teams, and we were resting our starters for, like, almost half of games sometimes. So let them keep sleeping. I think this offense is only going to get better. Jalen Hurts is only going to get better. His connection with AJ and Devontae, all these things are going to just get better. The run game will be better. The backs catching the ball out of the backfield. I think, yeah, we're in for a good time. And I've talked about, Brian Johnson, Sean Desai, how the offense and defense, just the coordinators themselves, are going to make this team better. So I'm pumped about it, man. Hope you guys are getting pumped too. We'll get into the defense here. Let's go, Birds. Jose, appreciate you tuning in. Heard how he's going to work out a punter. Yeah, we'll be working out punters. We definitely are not going into the season without a punter. Live chat of Sirianni, always press conference said we really released all the talent. Let me go here. They are, it's out of control. That's the one problem when you start winning. You get all these fans, and I've been a fan forever. And it's like, yeah, we know, dude. And it's like they don't know anything that's going on. Everybody's the best player ever. Greg Ward, Devin Allen should be on the roster and stuff. It's like, no, man. And I understand if some people, they have a soft spot for some of these guys. They like some of these guys or something like that. But we break this down each and every day talking about these players. And it's like, where they're getting information, I'm not sure, but it's chaos out there, and I see it. I do, and I do my best to try to give you guys the alternative to that. So I'm glad that you think that you can escape here, and I appreciate that. Tomorrow will definitely be interesting. Again, if you guys missed it, 12 o'clock is when the waivers have to be in, all that great stuff, and then 4 o'clock, announce your practice squads, all that great stuff. So see what claims they make at noon. I'll be keeping you up to date with all that stuff. Don't worry. And as I told you, remember last year, August 30th, we traded for CJ Gardner-Johnson. So how he's never done. And not just tomorrow, the next 12 days. Everything's going to be interesting to see what the Eagles do to improve this team. So, and yeah, that O-line, it is nasty. So I agree with you 100%. But now let's check out something even nastier. And, just as nasty, let's say. This defense, baby. And I know a lot of people weren't on board with how this defense is run, but I'm telling you, they're going to love these multiple schemes once they see how it works, once they learn how these bad boys with their versatility get used. These interior guys, the 3, you're going to see 3 of them on the field at the same time, 2 of them, in the odd and even fronts. Don't fear, ladies and gentlemen. They're all going to get theirs. And mostly Carter, Davis, and Williams. You'll have Cox there as the vet. You got the young man at Jomo, Tuipulotu, Street, the versatile piece. So, dude, that's quite a rotation there. And all these guys can, really help produce at Jomo and special teams. You could get a lot out of these guys and, help them learn from some really great players. So I'm excited. And this is why I talk about dynasty season, because the future of this team, not just right now, we're building something special. And Don't worry, I'll have a show coming out with the cap space, the future picks. You'll understand why. And I'm going to get the media on board, and they're going to be repeating my dynasty talk. I am telling you that right now. Just like I said with Hurts last year, just give it a little. They'll be repeating it. Here we are. So 6 edge rushers, and we talked about this. Look, Derek Barnett is that 5th guy. Cool. But maybe you still find a trade partner for him. He wants out. Okay. Maybe you get rid of him. You bring somebody else in. There are options we just mentioned there. You have guys like Kyron Johnson. You just let go if he doesn't get claimed. So you can bring, other pieces in, do whatever your heart desires. But for me, you got Reddick and Sweat, and then backing them up the next rotation is Graham and Smith. You can put any combination of them on the field at the same time. If Barnett is here, that's a good 5th defensive end, edge rusher, outside linebacker, whatever the hell he plays, whatever scheme. Again, it's going to be multiple schemes, so these guys got to play defensive end, outside linebacker. They're going to have to be able to move around. And Patrick Johnson, if need be, he could be that 5th guy. But hey, maybe they would add if they trade away Derek Barnett. But again, stacked. And I love it. That defensive line. What did we talk about? What did I say, right? At the beginning of the offseason, I said we'll probably end up keeping 13 defensive linemen, and that is exactly what we do. Now, the people that don't understand what's going on, the casual fans will say that those are linebackers, but those are edge rushers. They're outside linebackers, defensive ends. In different schemes are going to be called different things. So you really can't label them. That's why I label them edge rushers. That's what they are. And, there's one side, we talked about it. You've got Sweat, Graham, and then Patrick John. Well, I'm sorry. Derek Barnett would be there. And then you've got on the other side, Reddick, Nolan, Smith, Patrick Johnson. And, they'll play Sam linebacker. They'll play Will linebacker. You'll want to call the other guys defensive ends, but they're going to have to do a lot of the same things because we talked about it being left and right. If you guys missed the defensive video, go check that out because this D is going to be stacked. But we talked about the most important thing is that defensive line. So don't be surprised if they keep 13. Oh, we would. Yeah, we did. So just watch when they feast, break that sack record. They'll understand why you get after the quarterback and other things like the linebackers, TJ Edwards and Kaiser White. It's all over. Oh, wait, that was last year. So this year, they both have career years. Now you have Nakobe Dean, Christian Ellis, Zach Cunningham. Now there's a reason we got Nakobe Dean here. He's the future. Let's go. I'm excited about it. Heard a lot of slander. Don't like it, but he's wearing the green dot for a reason. I'm pumped about him. And Christian Ellis, he's, a young man we talk about. I think a bright future, helps us on special teams. And then you got Zach Cunningham. And I've mentioned this before. If you want to bring Morrow back, he's a vested vet, whatever, that's fine. He didn't make the initial 52. Whatever, dude. You're trying to trade someone. I don't care what you're doing. But I think right here, Cunningham and Dean being your starters, that would, to me, be perfectly fine. Ellis is your depth piece there. You're only going to have 2 of them on the field, sometimes 1. So not that big of a deal. We've talked about Nolan Smith can help here. I've also mentioned the safeties, Edmonds and Brown and maybe even Justin Evans a little bit. And hell, even Reed, but I think Reed's going to be, that safety most of the time. But you can use them as that dime backer. You can do certain things in that per se linebacker role. So this is a very complicated defense, but we'll be all right. I've seen people, concerned about this. This is not a big deal. We're keeping talent where we needed to. And one of those positions is the cornerback. We talked about this, and oh boy, it is 7 of them. Whoa. And with Zach McPherson getting hurt, that was probably the best thing that ever could have happened for, Goodrich and Ricks, just being able to show what they've got and really making a name for themselves. We talked about those top 5 there, and, they were locks to make this roster, and McPherson was going to be number 6 there. But, because of that, we've mentioned all of the things that Goodrich provides that, spot behind Maddox that you need. And Ricks, well, he's just really effing good. So it's hard to just let a kid like that hit the wire because another team could definitely scoop them up. So really happy to see Ricks there. But the great part is, Job, Ringo, Goodrich, Ricks, they all get to learn from Slay, Bradbury, Maddox. So again, this is why I talk about a dynasty, because I think we're building something for the future, not just right now, but you're ensuring these guys are learning from some greats, that you're moving the money around the right way. Like, we are in good hands here, ladies and gentlemen, and there is excitement to be had. Now, at the safety position, we kept 4, and we talked about this. Evans probably beating out Kayvon Wallace, and he did just that. So I love it. The future, Blankenship and Brown, and then you've got 2 vets there helping them out, Edmonds and Evans. I've mentioned this a million times. I think Sidney Brown, eventually will be the starter. If he doesn't start out week 1 on the a little Tron at the bottom there of the screen, I'm good, man. I don't care. He's going to get reps as that third safety doing things that we just mentioned. And I think that eventually he will be the starter. So I don't care. I really don't. I think all these guys together going to be awesome. So happy with that. And then special teams, we talked about it. Sipos out the door. So only got 2 special teamers there. And cool. Yeah, we obviously have to bring in a punter. So they'll do that. And when we do that, we'll talk about who it is and pray that they don't suck. But again, there are a couple of veterans that are pretty decent out there. So why not just bring in one of them and try and just hope that, they get something down with Jake Elliott soon and we're good to go. That's all we need. Somebody that can get some punts off and not shank them and suck ass. So please, for the love of God. Now, if that was all too much for you, you're trying to count on your hands or in your head or whatever you're trying to do to figure out what the hell I just said, don't worry. I've got the position count, and you'll see them all stacked together. You'll see all of that in numbers. So let me jump over here real quick. But damn Niners all day. Trolling is amazing. Oh, dude, annoying. Yeah, there's people. They always are trolling. It's sad, but they're afraid, and I get it, man. You can smell the fear. I get haters on this channel all the time, dude. The Cowboys, the Niners, the Dolphins. I get some real weird ones. But it's like, look, dude, I get you're afraid of the Eagles, and I don't blame you. And, speaking of that, let's just keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Just keep this in mind. So, look, hey, I'd like to do more than that. I'll tell you that. But, hey, working my way up. And we're going to keep working up this ladder here. But I don't know who's going to disappear, but are you talking about the Niners? I don't know, but still not over. Yo, look, he wants more playing time, and he really hasn't earned it here, but we're stacked. So best of luck to him. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. If we can find something that we like, then we will definitely move on. But it's got to be something of value. He's a former first-round pick, but you're not going to get anything. Like I said the other day, I'd be happy to get a 5th-round pick. Thank you. But I don't know. We could trade him away for less, definitely. But, it's nice to have a rotation. And you also don't know what's going on with Nolan Smith, all these other things. So we'll see, man. We'll see. We shall. But quarterback depth is indeed pretty awesome. I'm not going to lie to you. I was pretty stoked that we kept 7. So very pumped. And yeah, we talked about him this offseason. Hard hitter. Love the dude. And love this team. Very, very excited about this. I'm telling you, dynasty season. Doing well. Hope you are well, William. Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you, my man, Paul. I also appreciate you taking the time tonight. Hope you are doing well. You guys just saw by position. But now, without their height, weight, and all that stuff, you can just see their names. You can see who's at what position. You can see there are 24 players on offense. I think I had 23. So I was only off by a number, and then the special teams is obviously now 2 instead of 3. So there you go. But Hurts, Mariota, McGee, you see the running backs, you see the receivers. So you've got 3, 4, 4, 4, and then 9 offensive linemen that we just talked about. Those are in alphabetical order. So just to help you get an idea of where we're stacked at here. And then on defense, you talk about loaded 27 players on defense, 7 interior defensive linemen, 6 edge rushers, 13 on the line. Yeah. Linebackers, the off-ball stack guys, 3 of them, 4 safeties, and then 7 cornerbacks. My Lord, this defense is going to feast. I'm telling you, they're going to, again, be atop the categories against the pass, sacks, all that stuff, man. I'm telling you, they're going to be smoking them. And then, of course, that final 2. If you're doing the math that was 51, well, there's your other 2, 53. So there's your position count. You can see where everybody's at, count them all up. Now what I'm going to do for you is show you the depth chart with those 53. And I do have the special teams in there, so you can see the guys that are capable of returning the ball that are here. I've seen, people freak, who's going to return? Well, I still see the confusion that Devin Allen, he does not punt return, and Britton Covey, he does not kick return. Those are 2 completely different things, and those guys do not do them. So let's just get that out there. But Barnett, good luck. Yeah, we'll see, man. I'd like to see what we could get for him. But hey, Liz, appreciate you taking the time. Love when you guys are sneaking at work, trying to say what's up. But look, I look forward to hearing from you. I was hearing from you guys all throughout the day. It made me feel better when I saw you guys because there was just so many. I've never had so many random comments. And look, to all you new Eagles fans here, very happy to have you. But there were a lot of trolls, a lot of weird. I was like, all right, dude, like this is probably one of the most insane days. I do not have time for this. So it was nice to see you guys throughout the day. But love to hear from you about this roster. If you're watching it later, hope you're having a great time at work. And we'll be doing the same thing tomorrow, breaking stuff down with the practice squad. If we claim anyone, trade for anyone, whatever the hell we do, I'll keep you up to date with it. So that was my prediction. I've also talked about, the fact that I honestly don't get too caught up in that stuff. I just feel that we're going to be better than last year. So for me, it's definitely 14, 15, 16. Hell, go undefeated if you want. You just have to stay healthy, and you can beat any team in the NFL. But it's the NFL. Any given Sunday, you got divisional games that are always tough. So I'm not, out here drifting out to sea like, oh, yeah. But this team is good enough to beat anyone in the NFL. And I'm telling you, if they don't wet this field in the Super Bowl, we'll win it, dude. I'm telling you. So I'm excited about it. I hope you're all getting there, man, because I've been doing my best for these last – it feels like 10 months without football, honestly. And I know it's not been that long, but I just want to jump out of this window sometimes. But then I remember, oh, I have you guys. And then I jump over here and we all remember it's all coming soon, right? And we just pretend because during this sicko season, I remember we started the countdown at 99. I was like, oh, what am I doing? But we're here. It's at 12. So let's go. You sickos. I love you. I cannot thank you all enough. You've been here throughout all of this, and it's been fun. It really has, and definitely way more subscribers than I've ever had. I do this stuff every year, so sometimes it just gets kind of boring, and I know last year was more people just hating on me because I was trying to explain Hurts development and Howie. Well, that was actually like the last 2-3 off seasons, but dude, you guys are awesome. All the new subscribers I've found over this past, off season, the year before, you guys are awesome. Really, this is what I've been looking for. The diehards, people that truly love their birds, want to talk football. And it's been a rough road finding you, but we're on the road to victory. Okay, now let's check out this depth chart here. We're going to start it off with offense. And look, hey, anyone in green here, new to the roster this season, and we're talking about it with the running backs there. I don't care. 1A, 1B, hell, even 1C. Rashad Penny's going to get his work. Do not fear there. But Hurts, QB1, obviously. Mariota, McKee, that's fine, dude. Hurts is going to play. That's all we care about. The receivers, no surprise there. If they want to bring someone else, that's fine. But Olamide can play inside, outside. You have guys that will be on the practice squad. So if they want to elevate anyone, they want to trade for someone, make a move, that's fine. They could do that. But didn't see enough from any of these, younger guys that were outside on the bubble there. So, look, this is what we're rolling with for now. This could change. Now, at tight end, you see I just threw Alberto in there. He could definitely move himself up that depth chart. But I wasn't going to move the lines like I usually do, make it look a lot nicer for you. Just tried to throw it all together, took out the names that are no longer with us. Actually, I just went back to my prediction one. And all I had to do was change 2 things. So that was pretty cool. But you have, Dickerson, Opeta backing him up. That's the difference there instead of Sills. So Fred Johnson, Opeta, Steen, Driscoll, I talked about it, versatile pieces there. Cam Jurgens obviously backs up Kelsey there at center if you need. And you can move Steen to right guard. You can move Opeta there if you want, Driscoll there if you want. So a lot of things could happen there, but I love it, man. And I think that this offense is going to be even better because you see, again, the green are the new pieces. You added backup quarterbacks. You added Swift and Penny to this running back room over Miles Sanders. And I love Miles, but they both bring something different and in a very big way. And I'm very excited about it. And Olamide, love him. A guy that can play, again, inside, outside, help you in the return game. A short-handed kid. I love him. For his size, he's a tough little dude. I love him, man. I really do. And I'm happy he's home. Go get it, man. Now, Steen, bright future, the right guard of the future. So I love what we did on offense here, man. And I think we're going to steamroll people. Now, you guys know how I feel about this defense. We're going to dominate souls. And you've probably heard it a million times. But in case you haven't, there's 12 starters here because I want you to see the 5-man fronts, understand that. There will be a lot of four-man fronts as well, where the nickel corner is in. You're going to see a lot of both. So just want you to be aware. That's why you're seeing that. And I know Fletcher Cox will probably be listed on the TV screen. Fletcher Cox. Yeah, that's great. Don't care. Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. That is the future. They will eat souls. Fletcher Cox will be just like Brandon Graham, playing that veteran role, getting in there, staying healthy and fresh, because he's not, he's got his limited reps. And dude, that's fine. That's more than fine. And then you got Marlon Tuipulotu, Kadavius Street, Ojomo there. They're all going to feast, man. This is a nice rotation here. And then the edge, man, again, Sweat, Graham, and Barnett. And then on the other side, you got Reddick, Nolan Smith, and Patrick Johnson. I effing love it. The rotations there, man, we're going to dominate souls. And then linebacker, you see three of them there, Dean, Cunningham, Ellis, pumped. And then that secondary, all seven of those guys there. You see Ringo, Joe, Goodrich, and Bricks, of course, there backing up Slade, Bradbury, and Maddox. And I told you, don't care if Sidney Brown's not there starting week 1. They can put Edmonds there, Evans there, whatever they want to do. But Sidney Brown will be the future there. So excited about it. I am. Now to the special teams. Here we do not have a punter. So, of course, just a nice question mark there for you. We'll find out. But I put in, and you guys know I've been talking about this the entire moment we signed both these guys. You can go back to those videos. Olamide Zaccheaus can punt return. So why not keep him over Britton Covey? Well, Britton Covey's not here, so why not use Olamide back there? Now, Boston Scott is on this roster, but I still don't want him as kick returner. So I put Rashad Penny in there. I've talked about it a million times. 7 effing kick return touchdowns out of San Diego State. Love the dude, and I think that he should be back there. So, look, he's going to get his snaps, on offense, pounding the rock on those short yardage, whatever, situational football, all that goal line stuff. So put him back there, kick returner. But you've got guys like Devontae, you want a crazy play. You've seen him back there a couple times. Scott, if you want a kick returner. Quez Watkins, a kick returner. Not the greatest, but okay. Kenny Gainwell's tried kick returning. All right. Not the greatest, but I love his skill set. Justin Evans, he was back there punt returning. So this is where I come back to, you better use Olamide and Rashad, because who the hell else are you using, dude? You don't have another punt returner other than Olamide and Justin Evans. So what? And then Rashad Penny, you've got guys that are behind him, but serviceable. I don't feel comfortable with Quez or Kenneth, because it's like they're talented guys, but it doesn't mean this isn't Madden. I can't just throw them back there. You know what I mean? So I'd use Penny, but I'd also just sign Desmond King. Oh, sorry about that. Bad cough. But you see here, I also include the IR. We let go of Tyree Cleveland and Noah Ellis, waived them off of our IR with an injury settlement. So Rambo, Bradley, and McPherson are the only 3 that are listed on our IR now. And I will keep you up to date with the depth chart and the IR every week throughout the season, like I do with the cap space and If you're new to this channel, you will find out that this is where the information comes from. So I will be busting it all out every day. We'll be behind enemy lines, where we get to know everything about the opponent. So we'll check out the Patriots roster, all of their additions, everything like that, the one show. Then we'll have the top 10 matchups. And if you guys are new, you can always go back and look at last year's, like how it's set up. But every day of the week, you'll get something to get you by while you're waiting for your birds. So if you're crazy like me and you just, can't get enough, it's always sicko season. So that's all, I've got for you tonight. I can't believe I made it through. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm real happy about Marcus being our quarterback. No doubt. We all bleed green indeed. Dude, I'm pumped about this team, and I'm telling you, they're going to get on board with my championship prediction. They've already started repeating that one, but they'll be on with the Dynasty one. And it's so funny to watch them shift their thoughts and everything, dude. It's so awesome, man. Like, we got them. We told them this team is going to be special, and there's always going to be negative Nancy's. People only watch just to whine and stuff. That's fine. We'll just keep laughing at them and watch this team dominating. I can't wait. Don't let the chaos of social media get to you. I see it out there. Trust me. And I do my best to help you guys counteract it or step in where I see that stuff. So if you ever need me, just let me know. I know it is crazy out there, but yo, my man, appreciate you tuning in. We let go of Sippos and we let go of Covey. So look, I really think that people forget that there are 12 days, and we are not starting the season without a punter. Someone asked you that earlier. No, I don't know where this stuff comes from. Again, like last year when we traded for CJ Gardner-Johnson, that was tomorrow, August 30th, this time last year. So just keep in mind how he knows that there is not a punter on the roster. He knows that there's not those returners I just talked about. So just saying, maybe someone gets stashed on IR. Maybe Goodrich goes on IR, and they bring back somebody else. They bring in Desmond King. They trade for somebody. A lot of things could happen. So I know a lot of people are freaking out, but there's no need to freak out. I see people freaking out about Devin Allen. Devin Allen was never, ever going to make this squad. I don't know who was telling people that, but I would stop listening to them. I see people lose their minds about that. He was never going to make this team, so that's nothing to worry about. But Sipos is not good, so I'm not upset about that. I'm actually excited he's gone. So bring in some people. You got 12 days, and we'll be 11 tomorrow. So figure it out, dude. That's what they got to do, and they will. Don't fear. This is Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni, and company. So I think that, yeah, exactly. So I think, just like I was trying to explain last year, fire Howie. It's like, dude, just be patient here. And I broke down why we could, you've seen the last couple of years, talked about Reddick and Bradbury and all the people we've drafted, and it's like, why do people think we can't do these things? And they get caught up in like the Jonathan Taylor or something, and it's like, why would you listen to that stuff when you could literally? I mean, I've literally called almost every person we've signed and drafted, but I don't force myself. I mean, people don't want to get that kind of information. That's fine, but to me, it's always funny. It's like, why would you listen to me? Because you see those people. My source is telling me. It's like you've never had a source. You guys make up Slay getting traded to the Ravens. To Tyreek Hill's got. It's like, that's insane. Why don't you just actually make friends with people and get sources? I don't know. I at least wouldn't be making up that I have sources. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. And I hate that they do that to you guys. And I see people always coming in here. What's going on, MJ? And they ask me crazy questions. And it's like, who is Dan Sileo, ESP? It's like, oh my God. Like, what are they doing? What are they doing? But I got to give them a big shout out, because I wouldn't have started this without them, because you got to be the change, man. You got to counteract that stuff. And that is exactly what I've told myself every day. So gonna keep doing my best to do that. But I hope you enjoyed all of this information here. If you missed any of it, you go back, watch it. You've got thoughts on it. You can always leave it down below. And I know there's a lot to process here. So if you go back, you're pausing, looking at certain positions, you want to talk about something, just comment on the video. I will happily talk birds with you. I know some of you guys just say go birds. I love it. I'll say go birds back with you. You want to actually talk about something? Let's go, man. I'm always, and I try to keep up. Today was insane. I literally had to, it was at one point there was 39 comments that I didn't get back to. I was like, dude, I'm trying. I always try to get back to you guys, and don't ever think that I'm not. It's just sometimes gets a little chaotic. So look, I love each and every one of you, but that is all I have for you. If you got anything from this, do me a favor, hit that like button. It helps, man. Gets me out into that algorithm. And if you guys want, you can subscribe and join us live. I post, videos, shorts, the community, posts you can make now. So I'm always keeping you up to date with everything I possibly can. And tomorrow I'll be back. We'll talk about whatever punter we're bringing in. We'll talk about whoever we claimed, if anyone. We'll talk about trading people. We'll talk about our practice squad, all of that stuff. When it becomes available, I will get it to you. But if you need me until then, you can always reach out. You want to talk about life. It doesn't have to be about the birds. Man, I've made some great friendships with you guys. You're truly family to me. So I always try to be there as you are for me. So have yourselves a great rest of your night. I got to get rolling here. I'm running on fumes. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all have yourselves a great night. Stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!